Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome to the last day of week 10's sessions for the Guildford City Fitness live stream. Make sure your warm-up area is clear, make sure you've got a drink, and we're going to get the session going with 2 minutes of normal skipping in 3, 2, 1, go.
Morning from Ollie and Tilly.
You've beaten Chris, and you've beaten Chris that first comment, guys. Well done.
Hello from Chris, top fan Chris Finch. He didn't write that, I'm just saying it. Morning from Morgan, Charlie, Cam, Yaya, David, Sam.
Almost there. A few more to join.
Matt T and Ewan.
And stop. Turn off.
Morning from Ruben.
3, 2, 1, go. I keep trying to keep count as they comment. But I lose count whenever I hit the floor.
I mean, there's 12 people signed in. 12 people watching at the moment, so. Noah signed in.
Because Rory's still in the city.
Alex and Julian says good morning.
How you doing, guys? A little bit longer. Something feels it's going to fall over. What's that? Okay, stop.
The table.
Okay, cool. Nothing massively important. Bent your iron cross.
Alex has signed in.
Uh-oh. So, bent your iron cross. That's me just being told that we're live. 3 minutes in. And so moving your feet further away from you as you go through it. Just keep your chest pinned down. And spider and lunge and rotate. So that's 1 foot forward, opposite hand rotates. Compared to reverse lunge when it's the same. Three on each side. Left foot forward, left hand forward, and reach your right hand up. I mean, if you get your forearm down, great. I'm definitely not there. Okay, after Spider-Man lunge and rotate. Lost it. Then on to leg swings and then scat press. So feet flat on the ground, same leg, side to side. Second leg, 6 times through. You can totally do it without the wall, but why would you? And then scat press IYTW.
Millie says morning.
How you doing, Millie? The spine as high as you can get it. try and pull. So if you almost think of it like the top of a push-up, the more activity you can get on the front of your body, the more impact it's going to have. And then IYTW, and finish off with vertical jump. 2 up, 1 in. And then change up a little bit. Instead of always having your hands facing the floor, start to turn your hands up, see if it feels different. So round 3, near enough, have your hands facing the ceiling. And then finish with vertical jump. So part 1 is going to focus on whole body strength. So you've got wall walks, hamstring raise, single arm rows and dips. So chair for the raise, table for the dips, bag for the row. Grab a drink and then we'll get going. I'll grab the table in a second. 3, 2, 1, go. I'm just in the habit now of always doing a wall hold just to warm myself up. See how I feel. Okay, last couple of seconds. Relax. Okay, then you're into hamstring raise. In 2, 1, go. So half on one leg, half on the other. Switch sides. And stop. And you're into rows and dips to finish off. 2, 1, go. Single arm, you can go on, if you had the table, use the table. If you want to make like a proper single arm row, you use the dip table. And then switch sides. Make sure that your back's completely level if you're doing it this way. So you're taking the balance element away from it a little bit. Less focus on trying to hold a position at the bottom of that RDL. Relax, and dips. Two, 1, go. To control the tempo in round 1, build it up, see how low you can get. So to change your foot position, you can elevate your feet. Personally, I don't think it makes that much of a difference. But if you do elevate them, you could probably put some weight on your lap if you wanted to. Okay, and relax. 20 seconds off, so you're back into wall walks. Two, one, go. Okay, 15 more seconds. I thought that would for sure take it 45. And stop. Into hamstring raise. 2, 1, go. I thought I'd organised it so well. The second round, try and make the lever longer, shuffle back a little bit. And then switch legs. Just always make sure that the work's coming from both hips evenly. If it's not, just shuffle back towards the chair a little bit. And stop. Into single arm row. In 2, 1, go. So one hand on the table, one knee up on the table. You're not putting a massive amount of weight onto it. Just enough to support you, so you can keep your back parallel to the ground and the ceiling. And switch sides. And make sure your back foot is in line with that back knee, so you can keep your pelvis neutral. Yeah, relax. Then you're into dips to finish off the round. 2, 1, go. So imagine you're trying to turn the surface apart, so as I'm going down, I'm trying to rip the table by turning my hands out the way. They won't actually move, but it's just that intent to screw your elbows backwards to the point behind you. Not clicking and popping today. And stop. So one more break, then you're into round 3. So wall walks again in 2, 1, go. So push as hard as you can through the floor. So at the very least, you're going to start building strength around your shoulders into your traps. And as well as pushing, make sure you're shrugging as well. So you want to get your shoulders up as high as you can. Gives you more stability. Okay, and relax. Hamstring raise. In 2, 1, go. So change the lever again, slightly further back. So as well as helping you improve hip extensor strength, these hamstring raises are a good way to see what kind of condition you're in for running. Switch over. Given how important your hips are for helping you to project yourself forward, the majority of this movement should always be above. That's why I keep hammering it. Okay, and relax into single arm row again. Two, one, go. So as you pull, make sure you keep your elbow close to your body, facing the ground so your neck remains neutral. And slow the tempo down if you don't want to increase weight. Make sure it's an even tempo, so everyone watching this video will have switch sides.
Pearl's signed in.
How you doing, Pearl? So you'll be doing a lot of eccentric work tomorrow, so you'll already be taking care of those slow reps. So either hold at the top, or just concentrate on explosive movement. Switch there, and then you're into dips to finish part one. In 3, 2, 1, go. I'm not very paranoid about my left elbow. You check it?
Yep.
Just need to make sure that it's pointing backwards more than it was the other day.
Yeah.
Always worth checking, depending on what is going on. Sometimes if you've got tight shoulders, it'll have an impact. If it does, just go to the point where your elbows are in the right place and do more holding work until your body adapts to it. And then relax. So part one done, you get 1 minute break. And then part two, you've got streamline crunch, leg lower, airplane, and skater hops. The skater hops is a different kind of movement drill where you're going to focus on lateral movement. So essentially it's hopping side to side. Okay, so you're standing on one foot, hop to the side, and then catch yourself as you land. So the idea is when you land, it's controlled, you don't collapse, so you're not going over, falling, bouncing back over. And make sure your feet stay side by side, don't let them cross over. See how you get on. There's some variations around that you can do. For now, you've got 10 seconds left of the rest. Grab a drink and then we're into streamline crunch. In 3, 2, 1, go. It's a small range of movement, creating maximum tension in your abs. Try to curl the top of all the muscles below your ribs as close as you can to the top of your pelvis. Without swinging your arms for momentum. Throw in a couple of holds at the top. Take away the streamline if it gets too difficult, or if you feel you can get more tension. And stop. So streamline crunch, then goes into leg lowers. So still on your back. 2, 1, go. So lower back remains pressed into the floor. If you can't get a massive range of motion without swinging, just slow down the reach. So ideally you'll be able to get your legs all the way up, but if your lower back comes up off the floor, leave it, because you're going to start using momentum more than muscular control. You can almost go alternating. Last 5 seconds. And then relax into aeroplanes. 2, 1, go. So more complex movement skills. The back end of the week, when you've got your biggest run tonight. And switch over. So make sure you've got a straight line from your head to your heel. Lead that rotation with your chest. So close. And then relax into skater hops. If you haven't got a lot of room side to side, go for more height. 2, 1, go. So start off small. Try to get all the push from your stance leg, so you're not swinging across, you get more control. Like I said, if you haven't got a lot of room, go side to side, but higher, like trying to make an arch rather than trying to cover ground. And the further you can push, the more force you're going to try to absorb with trunk control. It's going to make the running a lot more comfortable. And then relax. So that's round 1. 20 seconds off. Then you're back into streamline crunch. In 3, 2, 1, go. You make sure you breathe out as you go up. The more you breathe out here, the more tension you're going to be able to create here in your stomach. So make sure your lower back, in fact your mid back, stays on the ground near enough. So it's a very upper abdominal exercise. Throwing some holds, and then stop, and then pair that with a lower abdominal exercise in leg lowers. 2, 1, go. So get your hands pushed into the floor for balance. If you want to do it slowly, you can start to build in a reverse crunch. So you go up, pull your hips towards your head. So the start position here. A little bit of pull up from your abs before you control the lowering phase.
Hips up.
What, you were saying that or someone saying?
Pips up.
Oh, pips up. They said hips up, like what?
No, Pip squeaks awake.
And stop into airplanes. 3, 2, 1, go. So remember, if you're still struggling with these, deliberately force your foot down Instead of just balancing, push your legs straight. Unless you've got knock knees, so if you really struggle, you can't get anything out of it, just deliberately bend your knee. Overbalance. Switch sides. So if you keep it at a slight bend, you're closer to the floor, you get more stability. There's still some hip work. You still want to aspire to keep the legs straight. Relax. So one more 20-second break into round 3. No, it's not skate hops. 2, 1, go.
Yeah, Michelle would have been on that.
Yep. It's because it's new. So if you find that you're hopping too far and you overbalance and have to correct with a little hop like that, rein it in a little bit. Take my own advice. And once you get the hang of that skill, then start trying to progress it. You might find that one leg is better than the other, so I seem to be better at landing on my right. Famous last words. So again, that landing stayed pretty still, but I had to curve to let my foot come behind me. So you still want to rein it in a bit, relax. Round 3 then. Streamline crunch. 3, 2, 1, go. So crunch is probably the one time where if you have foot support, it's just going to help you make it harder rather than assist you. So from there, if I push my feet up into the bottom of the sofa, I can get a little bit more range from here to about here and stop. And then 3, 2, 1. Leg lowers. If you find that you get a bit of a stretch in your lower back, like right at the top of your pelvis, don't worry about pushing the reverse crunch. Just go through a smaller range of motion, but slower. So more time taken to get from the top to the bottom. So the whole time your lower abs are having to try and control what your legs are doing. And arrest some of that momentum. Stop. Aeroplanes. Skater hops again to finish off. In 2, 1, go. So other options again to help you build up that stability through your leg. If you force it straight and just go to a tilt, a point where you can sustain it, and then try and build that range, it's much easier to do from there than it is to go all the way down. Slow recovery and then switch sides. So the most reliable test, if you want to figure out which leg's more stable, which one would you kick a ball with? Relax, and then into skater hops. In 2, 1, go. The other part of this to make it successful is you want to make sure you land in that quarter squat and stick it rather than hopping and staying tall. One, you don't gain as much control, and it doesn't help you increase that stability. The more you can to move, the higher you get, the more distance you can go. Oh, right leg. And then relax. So that's it. Session 5 done. Foam rolling for cool down. So you should be nice and prepared for any running you do later on. Into quads, I'm still going to stick with the side. This is the bit that's most uncomfortable, but that probably just means it's going to help you the most. So if you do find it too painful, and this probably goes for any part of quad rolling, just leave both your feet on the floor and just move super slow. So if anything, you can stay on one spot and just breathe. And then switch sides. So it doesn't matter so much if you're used to foam rolling, if you don't cover the whole muscle, because if it's uncomfortable enough, it's going to start creating some sort of change. I'll help you just switch into recovery mode. And just be aware of any differences you find between legs and act upon them accordingly. And then switch the hamstrings. Check both. Remember using your hand to manipulate the foam roller if you find that it's too uncomfortable to move your legs. And then just reflexively flex and extend your knee. Try lifting it up and down as you turn. Swap over. The sensations you feel during this are going to mean different things depending on the person. Obviously pain and discomfort are quite subjective phenomenons, so some people are going to always have tight hamstrings, so they're always going to feel that they've got them, but then they'll manage to do a full straight leg raise. So at no point after doing any of this, that's not as good. I don't ever feel like I've got flexible hamstrings, just because you've got a straight leg in that position. It's just a good marker for progress to try and help answer some questions about what it might be. Then you go into hips. So remember, you've got that sort of crab position, one foot on the ground, one hand on the ground, backwards and forwards. Or you can go side on and address your TFL muscles, so those ones on the side of your body that take your leg away from your midline. Just remember, have a lot of support there if you need it. Never feels great, but just ease yourself into it. Rock backwards and forwards gently, or use your hand to manipulate the roller. And switch sides. And you can always use the static stretches to check your progress on that. So you can do that standing one. You go 1 foot in front, reach over to the side, do this, and then recheck it, see if it feels any different. You can get much the same effect from using hockey balls or tennis balls. I think you have to be pretty confident, pretty comfortable with using tools like that for smaller muscles, because that extra compression is going to really do a number on you. And then relax. And the other thing to bear in mind is that if something's really uncomfortable with during the foam rolling, best thing to do is practice it. So instead of doing one lot of 30 seconds or 2 rounds of 30 every day, because I'm covering it and you're following along, just start building it into your routine a little bit more at different points through the day. Into lat roll. To find some biting points. I think we covered it on what is it? Wednesday, but if you start incorporating a sleeper stretch action to elbow up and turn your wrist down, you might find you get a different sensation in your lats from doing that. And then the best way to remeasure this one will be that that wall to streamline. And the switch sides. Working backwards and forwards, so face the ceiling, face the floor. Let your shoulder do the work. So your left side feels a lot worse than my right for this kind of thing. Okay, the chest to finish off. Side to side motion with the opposite hand. And then just move your other, so if your left hand is pushing, just move your right arm around, try and explore the space, high and low. Switch over. And if you can, try and rotate towards that pushing hand. So rollers on my left side, twist yourself to face the right. Get all the movement done with your shoulder. If you find a point where you've got a lot of tension and it's kind of uncomfortable, just stay where you are instead of moving on and off of it, because that's going to give you the most bang for your buck in terms of time, if nothing else. And then you've got another forgiving challenge today. I always pace it around the running. The running is the most important thing to maintain your aerobic conditioning, so I always want to bear that in mind when we write the sessions. So today you've got the flexibility, work 30 minutes looking at yoga through the swimming and YouTube, and looking at anything you might be able to do. So that quad one, if I'm doing it, I'm definitely going to work on the sides of my quads today. And then tomorrow you've got the support challenge where you do as many rounds of 10 double dead bugs, 200 meter run, and 10 sit to stands as you can in 12 minutes, or 10 minutes for nays. That's going to do it for me for the bodyweight stuff this week. We'll see you on Monday at 7 o'clock. Enjoy your weekend. And then to everyone else, Guildford City want to wish you a really great weekend as well. Take care and thanks for watching.